All right, that's right, Chef. Those dishes have to be perfect. And our chef Flay is fried cilantro going down on his wild rice waffle.
10 seconds.
Good to me.
With under 10 seconds, the challenger replating his jerk dish. The entire lobster sauce all of it to a new plate.
3, 2,
1. Put it down and walk away. Battle Canadian lobster is history in Kitchen Stadium.
Good job, you guys. Good job. Good job, Chef.
Cheers, man. Oh my God, you did it.
Well, the cooking may be done here in Kitchen Stadium, but there is still plenty of action. Judgment when our Chef America returns. Welcome back to Kitchen Stadium. This is Iron Chef America. Today's battle has been Canadian lobster. The cooking is over, and we are ready for the judgment phase. And to explain exactly how that goes, we go to Kevin Brosh. Kevin.
Thanks, Elton. Okay, if you want to play the game, you have to know the rules. Each judge can award a chef up to 20 points. 10 points are possible for taste, another 5 points for plating design, finally as many as 5 points for their originality in the use of the secret theme ingredients. And may the best chef prevail.
Thank you, Kevin Brosh. Now, let's get up to the chairman's table and get this judging show on the road.
Chef Hughes, how was your first experience in Kitchen Stadium?
Amazing. It's an honor to be here, and it's, you know it's going to go by fast, but it goes by a lot faster than you think. So this is a little bit of a taste of Montreal. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Very good. Please tell us about your first course.
First course is our appetizer, which is a drink and a little lobster roll. This is a Montreal classic. It's called a Bloody Caesar. It's made with clams and tomato. There's also some lobster broth in the drink. And along with that, you have the traditional lobster roll. There's tons of herbs in there, some homemade mayonnaise.
Oh, it's perfectly toasted, and you really get the meatiness of the lobster in here. And the lobster's a star, as it should be. So I think it's great.
The one, I think, misnote in my cocktail itself is, as opposed to tasting fresh lobster, I taste fresh vodka.
I taste so much vodka.
I think that for me, I mean, having the whole tail of lobster and starting off with a full hit of beautifully cooked, very, very tender, moist lobster is a great way to start the experience of 5 dishes of lobster.
Cool.
Thank you, Chef. Next course, please.
Thank you.
Chef.
Second course, lobster poutine. So there's no more Montreal dish than this right here. It's really our pride and joy. We made a lobster gravy, and you have cheese curds and fries and pieces of lobster.
I like the idea of lobster poutine, but I don't like the pairing of cheese and lobster.
It's a great idea, but it just doesn't quite seem to gel, does it?
Thank you, Chef. Next course, please. Chef.
All right, well, what you have here is lobster and onion ring salad with carrot butter and avocado.
I've had so many different types of lobster salads in my life that, you know, this was a very unique presentation and combination. It was interesting to have the textured crunch of the onion ring, and I would have liked to have seen more of this delicious carrot butter.
I also like the continuation of the kind of working man theme. You know, you have French fries, you have drinking man's cocktail, and now you have an onion ring. And that's playful, but there's also smart technique and intelligence behind this food, too.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Next course. Let's do it.
Chef.
All right. Lobster risotto, obviously lobster stock, and lobster mushrooms. This is like lobster over lobster with lobster.
This should be super lobster, shouldn't it?
This is super lobster.
That was pretty much perfect.
That one was perfect.
Yeah.
I feel that there was a tremendous amount of harmony, and everything worked, all the ingredients worked well together, and the textures were wonderful.
Thank you, Chef. Next course, please.
Thank you.
Chef.
And to finish it all off, a quintessential Montreal dish, jerk lobster, which is actually our kitchen favorite. And now this is really, really spicy, but enjoy. And I'm here to help. If anybody wants me to crack shelves or anything, I can get involved.
Wow, that's got some power. You've hit the mother load.
Is the heat habanero, or what's the origin of the heat? I like habanero or Scotch bonnet as the heat source because there's a floral quality to that kind of pepper as well, and you get that in this
That's right.
dish.
It's almost like a sort of a, I don't know, a cumin or a slightly allspicey sense.
You
to it.
get
It's really
there's allspice in here.
Yeah, big time.
And this is really jerk. And the lobster can handle the heat. I don't know if I can, but the lobster certainly can. And it's absolutely delicious. I mean, it's very successful. I've never had jerk lobster. It's my first time, and it works.
Judges, how did you feel overall about the 5 dishes?
I could sense the lobster in everyone. Some of the seasoning in the first dish I found just messed with my mind a little bit. The risotto, absolute perfection. And this, I'm loving. You know, the chili sets off the serotonin. You get happy. Everyone's becoming a little bit bubbly and a bit cheeky. You know, I think the chili does that for you, and it's a great way to end.
There was a good balance of creativity and common sense throughout the dishes, throughout the menu. Some of the dishes were more successful than others, but overall, it was well done.
I think you did a great job of putting the lobster front and center, and I think there was a great diversity of application here that worked really well.
Good. Thank you, judges.
Thank you.
Chef Hughes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for an excellent meal.
Thank you.
Iron Chef Flay, you've cooked lobster in Kitchen Stadium before. Was Canadian lobster a challenge?
It was a joy. Canadian lobster is terrific. Has a nice hard shell, which means that the meat is going to be nice and sweet and very firm. And to me, that's the perfect lobster.
Please tell us about this first course.
The first course is a crispy lobster and chanterelle mushroom and lobster mushroom salad. The dressing, it has some white wine vinegar, a little bit of mustard, a very, very, very tiny bit of white truffle oil. The lobster is cooked in a very light batter of rice flour.
It's interesting. I got a big hit of truffle oil on the first taste, and at first I thought, that's a little bit too powerful for the lobster.
I don't personally taste the truffle oil. For me, the vinaigrette makes it. It brings everything together. The vinaigrette is really beautiful.
I like very much the kind of harem-scarum nature of the plating. The only qualm I have with the dish is the rice flour breading on the lobster. There's a chewiness that I didn't want out of the lobster.
Thank you, Chef. Next course, please.
Okay.
Iron Chef.
From crispy lobster to grilled lobster. This is a grilled lobster tail. The sauce is made with fresh corn that has a little bit of vanilla bean and some habanero chili in it. There is a good amount of lobster stock as the base.
Nice aroma.
Is the pairing of lobster and vanilla classical, or is that nouveau? Where does that come from? Where does that...
It's not something I do very often, but I thought the fruitiness of the habanero and the flavor of the vanilla bean would actually go very well together.
I love the surprise of the vanilla, but it seems too much for me. I can't get the idea of vanilla ice cream out of my head.
Yeah.
It's maybe just a little bit too much.
I'll go a step further. I think the lobster is lost in this. When I bite, I get just this wash of vanilla, and I'm not left with the brine of a lobster or the sweetness of a lobster. I'm left with pudding tone.
Thank you, Iron Chef. Next course, please. Iron Chef.
Okay, the next dish is almost like a free-form lasagna that I just kind of tore and cut sort of in any direction with a pastry cutter. The sauce is made with lobster stock, garlic, some crushed red peppers, of course, some lobster meat, fresh basil, and Italian parsley.
Why did you cut it roughly? What's the idea behind that?
I wanted to do something a little bit more rustic. And I also thought that this sauce would actually hold on to a noodle like that a little bit better.
I'm not sure if I enjoy the coarseness of the pasta as much as I thought I might. I'm not blown away.
I think the pasta is great. I like the fact that it is coarse and that it is chewy. Some bites for me were a little too sweet, but then when I got the greens and the parsley in it together, then it really worked.
Thank you, Chef. Next course, please. Okay. Iron Chef.
The next dish is a lobster sitting on a wild rice savory waffle. The sauce is made out of red curry and mango. So the mango and the red curry should hopefully balance each other out.
I was waiting for somebody to bring a mango into the lobster scene.
I think this redeems your vanilla experiment.
Okay, good.
I think there's a really nice balance. I'm not sure why the waffle's there. Why have you placed it on a waffle?
Just as a vehicle, again for some texture.
Also, it's hiding pockets of mango, which is quite nice when you cut into it. It sort of explodes on you.
I love the waffle. I love the texture of the waffle. I love the nuttiness of that taste.
Thank you, Iron Chef. Next course, please.
One more.
Iron Chef.
This is a lobster gumbo of sorts. The base of the dish is a lot of lobster stock, It has chorizo, onions, garlic, celery, some fresh lobster as well. It is garnished with some crispy okra, and then it's served with some blue corn bread sticks that is filled with lobster butter.
The chorizo really makes it. I love the way the saltiness goes with the sweetness of the tarragon and the lobster, and that blue cornbread with the lobster butter, it just brings it all together. It's an interesting gumbo. It's like, it works.
I think the best taste in the bowl is the cornbread when dunked into the broth. There's good sopping with cornbread.
And the lobster is perfectly cooked. Perfect.
I agree. I think you finished really strong. This is the best dish I've tasted.
Thank you.
Judges, what is your overall assessment of the Iron Chef's meal?
I think that Chef Flay had a little bit more of a haute cuisine approach to using the lobster. So there were smaller portion sizes. You could get a grip of what you're eating, which I really enjoyed.
I enjoyed many of these dishes. I thought too many of them, though, were kind of catawampus. They were uneven.
My favorite dishes overall were the first and the last. The first one had wonderful use of texture, color, surprise, and flavor. But I think in all cases, the lobster was perfectly executed.
Iron Chef Flay, thank you for a wonderful meal.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
If an Iron Chef battle has a dessert, it must be the verdict. And it's up next when Iron Chef America returns. Welcome back to Iron Chef America. Today's battle has been Canadian lobster. The cooking is over. The judging is over. The chairman is ready to read the verdict. Now, keep in mind, there are 20 possible points awarded here. 10 for taste and flavor, 5 for plating and presentation, and a final 5 for originality. So, let's go find out whose cuisine reigns supreme.
Today, two champions met in battle Canadian lobster here at Kitchen Stadium. Chef Hughes, Iron Chef Flay. The judges have spoken, and the winner is Chef Hughes.
Once again, that the chairman's model for world peace is civilized, sound, and sustainable. After all, two warring parties came forth, they stated their culinary cases and received a judgment in which all can abide. And what do we learn from this, kids? Well, I think it's simple. If we had more lobsters, we would need fewer lawyers. I'm Alton Brown. On behalf of the chairman, Kevin Brosh, and everyone here at Kitchen Stadium, I bid you good eating.